I'll start with a quick review for this book, The Molecule of More. It's a book about dopamine. I'll give this book 3 out of 5. I almost got a 4. The beginning of the book, I would say the first quarter, the first third, was very strong, started very well. And so I was like, oh, I like this book. Good information about dopamine and the various molecules going on in the brain. But then it went downhill fast, talking about politics a little bit and about self help. So there, he lost me a little bit. So again, the first quarter to a third was okay, was good, actually good, but then he lost. So even a 3, I was like, a low 3 could be even. Overall, I don't know if I would recommend, because there are other books I haven't checked yet. I'll check other books about dopamine. Maybe they're better. Apparently, it's a popular topic in these days. So far, it's kind of like in between. If you don't care about finishing the book, just listen to the first third and track it away. Let's see the notes. Dopamine is about anticipation and the unexpected, which wanes down after time. So the main idea of the book is that dopamine and anticipation go hand in hand. The unexpected. What happens is after a little while it wanes down because there is no anticipation anymore. According to one theory, the world is divided into 2 sections: the world that is within reach and the world that is the world of possibility. So that's the 2 sections. Dopamine is responsible for the section that is the world of possibilities. Dopamine is the molecule of motivation to seek what's out there. So that's what kind of like the motivation to see or to get something that is not within our reach. Slot machines utilize dopamine to trick people to keep playing since winning is unexpected. That's what they do with slot machines. Because it's unexpected, dopamine is keep getting released and we're having fun. Because dopamine is associated with fun, not associated, it makes the feeling of fun or happiness, whatever. And when we constantly, and we don't know when it comes, the brain keeps pumping the dopamine. The here and now molecules are serotonin, oxytocin, and endorphins. So the opposite, not the opposite, but the other side of the other section, or the here and now, which those molecules are serotonin, oxytocin, and endorphins. Dopamine leads to sex and interfere with it at the same time as anticipation settles in. So that's the problem. It also leads, that's what motivates us to seek sex. However, it also interferes with it because anticipation settles in and then we're not as interested anymore. Dopamine could be addictive, which can cause people to look for other and more exciting opportunities. So what happens when we can get addicted on dopamine, we can get high on dopamine, and we kind of constantly seek new opportunities, new novelty, and other experiences. Dopamine's objective is to keep us alive and propagate. That's the main objective of dopamine. Drugs hijack dopamine where it's no longer associated with anticipation. So things like cocaine, what they do, and other drugs, I think alcohol maybe, what they do is they hijack the brain where dopamine is no longer associated with anticipation. You just get it without anticipating anything. Dopamine release when drinking rises as the alcohol in the blood rises. This happens more at the beginning, which confuses people to think that being intoxicated is fun. So that's a really interesting point, and I didn't know about it. Something that I've learned is that dopamine release is associated with percentage of blood alcohol. So when it goes up, you get more dopamine. So he says that even drinking a cocktail is better than drinking a beer as we get more dopamine wise. What happens is that people associate being drunk with the fun rather than the percentage of the alcohol. So when there's a sharp rise, then we feel good. Not the drunk in itself is not a good feeling. It's the dopamine. Drug addicts react very similar to placebos as the brain learns what to do. So they even get placebos, they have the same effect. Since the brain already know what to do and the same feeling happens. We get a dopamine buzz even when we're doing things that would help us in the future. There's some typo there. So we get even things that would help us in the future. We prepare for something, we still get a dopamine buzz. Saliency increases dopamine levels. How salient things are helps or raises dopamine levels. It could be that liberals have more dopamine that could lead to seeking change. That's the more speculative part of the book, more about politics. One idea out there is that maybe the liberals have more dopamine and they're always seeking change. The liberals' idea is conservatives are trying to conserve the idea, while a liberal is trying to change things. So it could be a consequence of dopamine. Evolutionary-wise, dopamine could evolve to reward risk-seeking and exploration in new environments. So you ask, why is it in the first place? Why do we have dopamine? One idea is that it could help us seek new opportunities and reward risk, which could pay off. The last one, we need to find a balance between dopamine for the future to the here and now. We need to find a balance because both are important. We can always live in the future, that could make us unhappy, but we can also need to plan ahead, seek new opportunities. So we have to find this Goldilocks zone. That's it for the notes. Again, there are some interesting parts, as I said. Most of them are at the beginning of the book. After that, it's going downhill. That is interesting, but something definitely interesting topic we didn't know enough about. Definitely learned about dopamine and anticipation. That's the main thing I got out of this book. Thank you.